Next item was item 14. It's pulled by Councilwoman.
Yeah, to the staff, I'd like a report on this, what the options are.
This item concerns settlement of the litigation in the matter of Southwest voter registration versus City of Carson. As the community and the council is aware, in the lawsuit, Kevin Shenkman and his plaintiffs allege that the city's at-large voting for city council elections violated the California Voting Rights Act. The city was in the process of litigating the matter when the council decided on its own volition by a vote of 3-2 to switch to district elections. Of course, we were arguing that the city is not violating the SVREP. And the court refused to do so. Our judge twice declined to make a determination on this issue. After analysis of all the relevant facts, it makes sense for the city to consider the settlement before it and to approve it.
Agenda item number 14 on the consent calendar has come to my attention because it appears that once again, the council is attempting to misuse taxpayers' dollars to pay off the attorney who has a lawsuit pending regarding districts in Carson. This item must be discussed before the public, and we must see how and who votes for this action. As I understand it, we still have a court date pending for February 2021. Why would we agree to pay this attorney when he has yet to prove in court that we are in violation of the California Voters' Rights Act? I believe that a vote to pay him now would only weaken our case. What are you afraid of? 3 of you, Robles, Dear, Hilton, already have us voting in districts without any ruling from the courts of wrongdoing. Now you want to use taxpayers' dollars to pay him off and damage due process? We are watching you. Your vote will indeed seal your fate. I urge you to vote no on this item.
First of all, you said earlier the vote was 3-2. What was the 3-2? Who voted to go to districts?
Councilman Hilton, Mayor Robles, and Mayor Pro Tem Dear voted to go to districts.
2 of my colleagues have been stated publicly that the only reason they're voting to go to districts, Councilman Hilton and Mayor Pro Tem Dear, is because of the lawsuit. Is that hurting us also?
That is certainly an argument that could be used in court, and Kevin Shenkman has, if he can prove that the city switched to districts because of his lawsuit, then he's entitled to his attorney's fees, he argues.
His original request was for what? Well,
his original request was well over $600,000. It was close to $800,000. The total settlement amount right now is $488,000 and his costs. And we have verified the costs. We've looked at all the receipts, and the costs are accurate.
Jumping on me for asking these questions, but I needed to know, and I needed to point out, make it clear that I did not vote for districts. Councilman Hilton did not vote, not Hilton, Hicks.
How much money has the Carson taxpayers already paid?
The city has incurred around $85,000 in litigation fees.
So how much money has the city of Torrance spent of their taxpayers' money dealing with Shenkman?
I believe City of Torrance did not, upon receiving the letter, they immediately switched to districts. There was no litigation filed. And I think it's $25,000, $15,000 or $25,000. I apologize, Mayor Pro Tem, I don't remember the exact number, but they did spend $15,000 to $25,000 in turn. They had to pay Shenkman. Taxpayers
paid for a demographic study. Some people wanted to keep that study secret from the residents of Carson. So 2 of my colleagues agreed with me that transparency and accountability was important. And that demographic study, again, paid for by taxpayers' money, was made public because the public needs to know. You can't have it both ways.
Where were we at in our legal standing? Because at one point in time, we seemed to be on solid ground and could have won this lawsuit if I think that particular ordinance had not been passed. Is that correct?
Well, once the council decided to go to districts, the court took a very bizarre position, because I think a judge has an obligation to make determinations on the legal issues, but our judge started refusing to even hear arguments to make a determination. And there have been members of the community at these court hearings, and they could probably attest to how disengaged our judge was and how many times he yelled at me for arguing that he needs to make a determination.
And my last question, at some point in time, when you do go through the settlement process, does everything that's been discussed, whether it's in closed session or in court, become public record?
Not closed session, but everything that's in court, yes. I mean, that's already a public record.
So now, based on what's before us this evening, is your best recommendation at this point to deal with this case?
It is, Councilman.
I just want to publicly say I have never been in support of districts. I think it disenfranchises a community, and that you split a city up into ethnic groups, and now the cohesiveness of a city no longer exists because you split everybody up. And I just don't think that it was a way of just disenfranchising so many different voters in this community by going to districts.
I think that it's important for the residents to know that we held this process up for 2 years. I was the deciding vote to hold it up 2 years ago. I just think it isn't prudent of us to spend millions of dollars when we can take millions of dollars and put it in our infrastructure, our street repair, our tree trimming. No one wanted to go to districts. We went kicking and screaming. I didn't want to go to districts. But in a pandemic where we are right now, to just liquidate money from the city, I don't think it would be advantageous to anybody. And then when we make the demography report public, I think on one side, we wanted to make it public so the people who were on the other side saying, what are you hiding, to let them know that we weren't hiding anything. I think it's important that the public should know what we saw. And this is why what crafted our decision to go this way.
We won't even go to court in February. It's done. It'll be done and over with. We didn't fight until the end of it because we gave in, because we gave him what they needed. That's his weapon. We gave him everything he needed. I believe we could have won this. And I'll always believe that, because we're Carson. We're not like Torrance that rolled over. They said they didn't fight it. Santa Monica fought for their residents using taxpayers' money. And the taxpayers are happy that they spent the money. At the end of the day, it's their money.
That report was nothing but data analysis of voting history. Any demographer would have reached the same conclusion. So whether we had released that report or not, Shenkman would have hired his own demographer and he would have done the same analysis and reached the same conclusion. Because, I don't know, maybe some of us are not tethered to reality. Facts are facts. Numbers are numbers. We can pretend that there's no COVID pandemic and be Trump Republican-like and say everything is going around, we're turning the bend, turning the corner, but the facts are the facts. When an attorney, like in this case, gets attorney's fees, and this attorney would, there is a multiplier, a lodestar factor, where the attorney's fees, it's not just that he's paid a higher hourly rate. I don't know how much Shenkman's hourly rate is, but I'm going to guess it's around $800, $900 an hour. Not only is he paid his increased hourly rate, it's multiplied 1.5, 2 times, sometimes even 3 times. That's how he gets the multi-million-dollar settlements. Correct.
Okay. The map.
So you voted for the map. Let's be clear. So you can't say that the map, Councilwoman.
I did not vote for districts.
Let's be honest with ourselves and transparent.
I did not vote for districts.
Nobody said you did. All I said is that you voted for the map. The issue that residents have is with the gerrymandering of the map. That is one issue. It's not the only issue.
We all selected the map. I agree with you.
Okay.
We all selected the map.
So you voted for the map. Thank you. Yes. So I just wanted to clarify that. So with that, I move approval of the item. We need to vote on this settlement agreement. If there's no second, there's no settlement agreement. All right, the motion dies for lack of a second. So with that, we are now going to recess for a closed session and we will reconvene. I don't have a time estimate, but it was before 11. Thank you. We're reconvening from closed session. Madam City Attorney, do you want to provide a report from closed session?
No reportable action was taken.
Thank you. I'm going to bring up item number 14 again, and I'm going to move staff's recommendation to approve the settlement agreement and general release.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. There's no further discussion. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed?
Opposed.
Motion passes, Madam City Clerk, 4-1. Thank you. We're adjourned. Good night, everyone.
I opposed.
Yeah, 4-1. Thank you. Good night.
No. Who's a for?
It was 3-2.
I said no. Who's a for?
You didn't. I don't. You.
I said no.
You better call her back. The meeting is adjourned.
I still said no. I kept saying no.
Well, they got you 4-1.
No, they don't, because I said no.
Well, you better call somebody, and the meeting is over.
Sonny.
Hey, how do we handle that? You know, Cedric's been having trouble with his speaker all night.
No. I've been my computer has dropped me off. I said no.
I had to log back on.
I'm sure the city clerk can go back and look at the Zoom meeting and figure this out, and the minutes can be reflected accurately after she has a chance to review the Zoom. The motion does pass, so whether it's 3-2 or 4-1. Sharon, please make sure you work.
The Government's Sunshine Project is brought to you by Charles Thomas for Carson City Council 2020. I'm Charles Thomas, and I approve of this message.